After an unexpected, glitter-strewn start to his speech, Sir Keir Starmer promised a decade of national renewal to close the Labour Party conference yesterday in Liverpool.
The leader of the opposition vowed to reform the NHS, build 1.5 million new homes and put more police on the streets if he can get victory at the next general election. Going to talk to Sir Keir in a moment. But did he manage to win the local people of Liverpool over? Is this what they thought of him outside the conference hall?
Probably the lesser of two evils, if you ask me, really. They're both, him and the Conservative, are both multi-millionaires. What do they know about grassroots?
I thought he stimulated everybody. They all applauded so well. I thought, he's arrived.
She's just joined the Labour Party.
And
That's how serious she is.
I've lost a bit of faith in the Labour Party in recent years.
I think there's still hope there.
I don't think he cares. I think the Labour Party's gone more and more right-wing as time's gone on. And it's just going to be another Tory party.
And Sir Keir Starmer joins us now from Liverpool. A mixed bag, as every Vox Pop ever and always is, Sir Keir. We want to talk to you about your speech yesterday, but just to start with, because we've been seeing the pictures this morning of the protest at the start of your speech, the glitter, also your very effective response. It was quite a long moment, very physical moment, at a time when the world is in quite a dangerous place. And obviously you talked about terrible events in your speech yesterday. What went through your mind in those moments? What did you think might be happening? Were you fearful?
I was thinking to myself, I'm not going to let this idiot ruin 4 years of work. I've worked really hard. We've worked as a team to change the Labour Party, to expose the government as not fit to govern. And this conference was our chance, is our chance, to put the positive case for Labour. And so I was absolutely determined in my own mind, I'm not going to let this idiot ruin 4 hard years of work by me and my team. And that's why I took my jacket off, rolled my sleeves up and got on with it, notwithstanding the bits of glitter that were still stuck to my shirt and to my hands.
Look, Sir Keir Starmer, you're a politician, you know, through and through, and of course you would make a political point in that moment, and you're forgiven for doing so. But I think you're also a human being at a time when there is a lot of division and a lot of tension internationally, which is going to reflect domestically. I think as people watched, we were worried. Did you feel any concern, other than being determined not to let it derail you, which clearly didn't? But, you know, there's a big security problem here, isn't there? We don't want people getting up close and physical with with anyone, but particularly with our politicians on a televised stage.
Yeah, look, of course, there's all those responses, but that determination not to be knocked off course. I did glance across. My wife, Vic, looking very beautiful, was in the front row, so I looked at her. But I really did think we have, you know, we've done so much to get to this point. I needed to have that opportunity to give that speech, and I was absolutely, I think it was written on my face, the determination not to be knocked off course, and to get on with the speech and to make that case, to say, look, it doesn't have to be declined. We can have national renewal, and to give people the hope. Lots of people have said to me, Keir, look, you know, the Labour Party's done the reassurance. We know that you're going to provide stability, but are you able to weld together that reassurance with the hope we desperately need for a better future? And that was completely my mindset as I walked out on that stage, and nothing was going to stop me delivering that speech.
I want to take you back to what those real voters said outside of the conference hall. I hope you were able to listen to that. A couple of them might have given you cause for concern. And so our first gentleman said, you represent the lesser of two evils. I'm not sure that's, you know, a campaign slogan for you, but it is what some people think about the Labour Party right now. And you surely want to be seen as more positive to voters than the lesser of two evils. But the last person, the woman at the end, said you've become more and more right-wing. Now, in your pledges to become leader of the Labour Party, one of the things you pledged was renationalising huge numbers of our public utilities. You've rode back on that. And one of the things you said yesterday was that the NHS needs to be reformed, and people are concerned about that. How do you counter the accusation that you are now a right-wing Labour Party?
Well, let me just take you back to the beginning of your question, because what was said just a moment ago needs to be put in the context of the elections we've been having. We had a huge by-election in Selby in Yorkshire, huge Tory area, and we overturned a 20,000 Tory majority with a Labour victory. We then went to Scotland last week to Rutherglen and Hamilton West, and we won another by-election with a 20% swing to the Labour Party. So I would suggest that actually the Labour Party has grounded itself exactly where the electorate is. And I'm pleased about that, because one of the things I felt we absolutely had to do with the Labour Party is stop looking inward at ourselves and actually face the electorate. And so obviously I respect anybody who gives their opinion in a Vox Pops, anybody who gives their opinion in an opinion poll. But when we've gone to the ballot box in Selby, in Rutherglen, the overwhelming sense is we've got this right, we're in the right place, and people want to vote for the Labour Party. And obviously, my job yesterday was to give that hope, to set out that positive case. The feedback has been very positive in relation to that. We obviously need to keep doing it. We need to earn every vote wherever we go, but we will only do that if we put that positive case about the future of the country. I am worried that after the last 13 years, if you like, the hope has been beaten out of the country. And I was trying to, I suppose, draw on the British spirit that has seen through that hope.
Can I ask you about one of the positive things you talked about yesterday? You made a very big commitment to build 1.5 million new homes. Yeah. You went further than that. You talked about a new generation of Labour new towns that you're going to bulldoze through restrictions to stop blockers in the planning system. There have been quite a lot of political leaders in the last 30 years who have used this kind of language, and then when it came into government, they failed to deliver those numbers of homes. Tony Blair, Gordon Brown are examples of that. What makes you different? How can you tell our viewers you'll actually build those homes?
Well, firstly, I absolutely get it. The security of having our own home meant the world to me when I was growing up. We didn't have a huge amount of money, but we did own our own home. So I know what it feels like to have that security and have the springboard that's allowed me to do what I've done in my life. So I get it. The number 1.5 million is the right number, but in answer to the question, it's because we've got a strategic plan about how to deliver. And one of the things I've been doing in the last year or so is bomb-proofing absolutely everything that we put out to the electorate. I'm not prepared for this Labour Party to put before the electorate plans which I do not think can be delivered.
Where
and
are you
sometimes
build
we've had to adjust.
1.5 million new homes, Sir Keir Starmer? Because a lot of people are going to ask, are you going to build them on my local park, on the common, on the children's playground, on the former 1 o'clock club? Where are you building these homes?
Well, look, some of them will be in our cities where I think there's more scope for building. We have committed to a new generation of new towns. There'll be bidding for that so that communities can come forward with their proposals of what they want. We will be pragmatic about it. We have to make sure that the planning restrictions don't stand in the way, because politicians have many times claimed that they're going to build lots of houses and never delivered. I'm not prepared for us not to deliver. So tough decisions.
Just to check on that bomb-proofing. Sorry, and just to check on the bomb-proofing, Sir Keir, building new homes is expensive. New towns require infrastructure. You talked about a bidding process. There'll have to be social homes. The Cheddar Chancellor has been very clear there's no unfunded, uncosted commitments. How much money have you set aside for the first 2 years of the Parliament to pay for the first 600,000 new homes that you're pledging?
Well, the way in which we intend to do this is to leverage in the private sector to work alongside us. We've had huge numbers of businesses, as you know, here in Liverpool at our conference, not just to have coffee and breakfast, but to have a sort of sleeves rolled up discussion, which is us saying, if we were privileged enough to come into government, this is what we want to achieve.
Is there public money on the table?
and to say to the private sector, you need to come alongside us to ensure that we can do this. On social housing, affordable housing, obviously that's done through a mechanism of local authorities working with developers. What we set out this week is making that more muscular so that the developers can't slide away from the social housing, the affordable housing commitments that they make. So this comes not just with a plan, but with a way of working. And we're in detailed discussions now with developers about precisely how we can deliver this. And it does come back to a really basic point that matters to me, which is delivering.
This is just private money?
Well, it'll be a bit of both, but any public money, this is something Rachel said very clearly, Rachel Reeves, which is for every £1 that the government puts in, we want to leverage £3 of private investment. So any public investment is not a dead weight sum of money just put there. It's actually to enable us to work in partnership. But it's what you've seen from Rachel Reeves, from Angela Rayner and me, is a real determination. After 13 years of decline, I'm not prepared for an incoming government to let people down. And that means we are bomb-proofing everything. We're talking to businesses about how are we actually going to deliver this in government, because we need to restore the hope, the aspiration and the opportunity for working people across the country.
So, Keir Starmer, we have to let you go. You've got another interview to go to. Thank you for coming and talking to us this morning. We appreciate that. It's
Thank you.
Bomb-proofing.
Yeah.
New towns.
Yes.
Infrastructure.
I think what people
social homes.
and there's a generation of people who find it impossible to get on the housing ladder for a huge number of reasons, not least because there's a shortage of housing.
Politics has not done it very well in recent decades.
No, but I think that what people will be asking is, where are these homes going to be?
And also, where's the public money which is needed to catalyse the private money? Because new towns don't get built by the private sector. New towns don't. Towns, roads, town halls, buses, transport, social housing.
The school provision.
All of that.
Yeah, the hospital provision. That all takes a massive budget.
It's the right thing to be promising, but I think there you need a bit more flesh.